Hello, Sean Diddy Combs. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Do you like being scared?
Ellen's alleged bad behavior had been whispered about in the industry for years.
Let's talk about Sean Diddy Combs and Ellen DeGeneres. Yes, you heard that right. It's a pairing you might not expect, but it's got everyone buzzing. With recent allegations against Diddy piling up, some are starting to look at his celebrity connections in a whole new light. And Ellen, well, she's right at the center of it all, with rumors swirling about her ties to Diddy's infamous events. But just how deep does this go? Are Ellen and Diddy just old friends? Or is there more lurking beneath the surface?
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
First off, who would have thought that Ellen, known for her bright smiles and quirky dance moves, would be caught up in something like this? Yet, here we are with people online dissecting their interactions, tweets, and old videos, trying to connect the dots. It all started when one of Ellen's old social media posts resurfaced, where she called Diddy by an unusual nickname, Cuddle McSnugglestuff. Cute, right? At the time, it seemed like just another playful jab from Ellen. But now that nickname takes on a whole new meaning, especially given what we've heard about Diddy's so-called parties. People are asking if Ellen knew more than she let on. After all, they've appeared together on her show multiple times and have been spotted at events. Was she just being friendly, or could she have been part of a much bigger scene?
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Ellen and Diddy's friendship goes way back, and some of the details of their past interactions are now raising eyebrows. There was that one episode on Ellen's show a few years ago where she teased Diddy about always being late. She joked that once he finally showed up, the party could really begin.
Yes?
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that?
At the time, it seemed harmless, just two celebrities sharing a laugh about Diddy's famously late arrivals. But now, people are watching those old clips with fresh eyes, reading into every wink, every laugh. It's as if Ellen knew what went on at Diddy's parties, and maybe even attended a few herself. In another interview, she joked about needing to drag him to her party and promised that she'd be dancing all night long. Sure, it might have just been playful banter, but when you add it all up, it starts to look a bit different, doesn't it?
Does he have a shot? I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
For years, Diddy's legendary parties have been the stuff of Hollywood myth. Celebs have described them as wild, extravagant affairs where anything and everything could happen. Now, with Diddy facing accusations about these gatherings, those tales of glamour are starting to sound a little more sinister. Known as freak-off parties, these events were allegedly far from the usual Hollywood bash. Rumor has it they involved wild scenes that go way beyond the typical night out. These events were filled with A-listers and all kinds of craziness. It makes you wonder, who else from Ellen's circle was there? And do they have any idea what might have been happening behind closed doors?
Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
Diddy's downfall began with a lawsuit filed by his ex, Cassie Ventura, who described these gatherings in disturbing detail. Cassie, once Diddy's partner both in business and love, dropped a bombshell when she filed her case. She painted a vivid picture of a lifestyle that went far beyond the typical celebrity scene. And if you believe what's in that lawsuit, it's not hard to see why Diddy's parties have taken on such a dark reputation.
That he controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
According to Cassie, Diddy's freak-off events were not just parties. They were elaborate, highly orchestrated events that often included all kinds of morally questionable behavior. She even claimed that some of these gatherings were recorded, a fact that has only added to the speculation and controversy surrounding this case.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
The allegations from Cassie shook up Hollywood. She described how she was drawn into Diddy's world, promising a glamorous career, only to find herself stuck in a cycle of toxic behavior and abuse. In one instance, Cassie mentioned a specific night that was captured on surveillance footage, which showed Diddy chasing her down a hallway. She claimed he attacked her, and that video went viral almost instantly, leaving people shocked. Many are now questioning what other secrets might be hiding behind the walls of those extravagant parties, and who else might have been caught up in them.
New at 5, the legal troubles continue for Sean Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who says that he was assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court.
People are combing through old clips, interviews, and tweets, searching for clues about other celebrities who may have attended. After all, Diddy's guest list has always been packed with Hollywood's finest. Names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Beyoncé, and even the Kardashians have popped up as past attendees, though there's no evidence to suggest any wrongdoing on their part. But it does make you wonder, with so many high-profile guests, did anyone else see what Cassie saw? Or were they too caught up in the glitz and glam to notice what was happening around them?
Diddy has been under criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York. And if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been describing.
And then there's Ellen again, right in the thick of it. She's long been known as the queen of Hollywood's social scene, inviting all kinds of celebrities onto her show and into her life. Her old nickname for Diddy and her gushing interviews about him now seem like more than just casual friendliness. Was Ellen just another Hollywood insider looking the other way, or did she have a front row seat to the chaos?
Why was it necessary for you to come out, tell the public? Why was it necessary for the character to do so?
Because it's okay. Because it is okay.
Some of Ellen's fans are still reeling from the backlash she faced over her own workplace behavior accusations not too long ago. They're starting to wonder if this connection to Diddy might be another red flag. It's almost as if Ellen has been dancing on the edge of scandal for years. And now, with Diddy's issues coming to light, people are starting to look at her in a whole new way. With each passing day, more details emerge, and the public keeps asking, just how close were these two, and did Ellen really know what was happening?
I'm not going to talk about anything that I haven't said in court or in the papers. These are all great questions, but I'm just not going to get into it. So
can you speak about your concerns about the leak and the video? You have spoken about that before.
I did it in the court papers, and I'm just going to stick to the court papers. As you guys all know, let me just finish. As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than...
As the rumors continue to swirl, it's clear that Diddy's problems are far from over. The spotlight is firmly on him, and his freak-off parties have taken center stage in the court of public opinion. Cassie's claims have opened a Pandora's box of allegations, with each one seemingly more shocking than the last. And now, with Ellen caught up in the mix, it's as if Hollywood's carefully crafted image is starting to crack. People are asking questions that go beyond Diddy and Cassie, extending to everyone in their circle. After all, Hollywood is a small town, and secrets like these are bound to have ripple effects. As we dive deeper into Diddy's world, it's becoming clear that this story is far from over.
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap industry.
So what about these freak-off parties? We've heard the rumors, and Cassie's lawsuit certainly adds fuel to the fire. These were no ordinary celebrity bashes. According to the claims, they were highly organized, with certain people playing specific roles to keep things running smoothly. Reports suggest that these gatherings were complete with anything one could imagine, and probably some things they couldn't. It's no wonder that so many people are coming forward now, emboldened by Cassie's bravery to tell their own stories.
Now, so what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released.
And that's where things get really interesting. We're seeing a wave of people stepping into the spotlight, hinting that they have their own tales to tell. Former employees, security staff, even some who claim to be former party guests, all coming forward to share what they know. It's like a scene from a movie, with everyone holding their breath, waiting for the next piece of the puzzle to drop, and Ellen. Well, she's staying quiet, at least for now, but her silence only adds to the intrigue.
And I remember, I don't know if you know what his voice sounds like, but I felt like I was in the presence of his monster inside.
As more details come to light, it's becoming clear that Diddy's world was more than just glitz and glamour. His parties, once legendary for their extravagance, are now infamous for far darker reasons. Cassie's lawsuit has opened the floodgates, and now other stories are coming out, painting a picture of a scene that seems almost too outrageous to believe. But believe it or not, this is the new reality for Diddy, and it's a far cry from the life he once led.
These are all allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner of bad behavior.
Ellen might not have been directly involved, but her proximity to Diddy and her playful comments about him now seem strangely out of place. Could she have known more than she's letting on? Was she just an innocent bystander, or was she privy to some of Diddy's secrets? As the public waits for answers, one thing is clear. The days of simply brushing off celebrity antics as harmless fun are over. With Diddy facing serious accusations, his entire world has been turned upside down, and anyone connected to him, including Ellen, is now under the microscope. It's a story that's gripping the public and keeping people glued to every new detail.
That clearly there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
As Diddy sits in jail, the once close connection between him and Ellen now seems a little too close for comfort. She might not have been part of the freak-off scene, but her friendship with him has certainly drawn her into the narrative. Fans are scrutinizing every old interview, every shared laugh, and every offhand comment, trying to figure out what Ellen might know. The fallout from Diddy's arrest is spreading fast, and it's dragging everyone in its path.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
This is more than just a celebrity scandal. It's a glimpse into the hidden world of Hollywood, where secrets are currency and alliances are everything. Diddy's reputation has taken a massive hit, and Ellen's connection to him is raising questions she might not want to answer. But as more allegations come to light, it's clear that Hollywood's most powerful figures are not immune to the consequences of their actions. It's a tangled web, and everyone is waiting to see who will be caught next.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
So, what's next for Diddy and Ellen? Will more celebrities be implicated, or will they manage to distance themselves from this scandal? The story is still unfolding, and as we dig deeper into Diddy's world, we're left wondering just how much more there is to uncover. Hollywood might be built on glamour and glitz, but behind the scenes, it's starting to look a lot darker. Now, with Diddy behind bars, it's hard to believe that this is the same guy who was once throwing some of the most exclusive parties in Hollywood. The man who lived in a sprawling mansion and rubbed shoulders with royalty, movie stars, and music legends is now sitting in a cramped cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The contrast couldn't be more stark. But what's it like in this facility where Diddy is currently being held? Let's just say it's far from the 5-star lifestyle he's used to. This place has been called hell on earth, and for good reason. It's notorious for its grim conditions, overcrowding, and a lack of basic amenities. Some say it's a place you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, let alone a famous celebrity like Diddy.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
The MDC, as it's known, has housed other high-profile inmates in the past, from Ghislaine Maxwell to R. Kelly. But Diddy's legal team is fighting hard to get him out, arguing that the facility is simply too dangerous for someone like him. They've pointed to multiple incidents of violence, even claiming that Diddy's life could be at risk while he's there. His lawyers initially tried to get him out on bail, offering up his Miami mansion as collateral, but the court wasn't buying it. The judge denied bail not once, but twice, citing the risk that Diddy might intimidate witnesses if he were released.
There are some problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
In this federal lockup, Diddy is just another inmate, and for someone who's been at the top of the world, that must be a hard pill to swallow. Reports from inside say that he's being kept in a special housing unit, which sounds fancy, but is really just a more isolated area where they put detainees who need extra protection. There, he spends most of his time alone, with limited contact even with other inmates. It's a far cry from his days of throwing lavish parties and living the high life. And for now, it looks like that's exactly where he'll stay as he awaits trial on these serious charges.
Replete with very, very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras throughout his home.
So what exactly is he being accused of? Well, the allegations are pretty explosive. Prosecutors are saying that Diddy ran a whole operation to fulfill his personal interests, one that involved some seriously shady business. They're calling it the Combs Enterprise, and they say it included his entire empire, from his record label, Bad Boy Entertainment, to his other business ventures under Combs Enterprises. According to the indictment, Diddy used his power and influence to control those around him, promising careers and financial support to those who followed his rules, while using fear and threats against anyone who dared to step out of line.
We all saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
And it's not just about what happened at those freak-off parties. This indictment claims that Diddy was involved in a lot more than just wild gatherings. prosecutors are painting a picture of a man who was willing to go to extreme lengths to maintain control over his circle, using intimidation tactics that go well beyond anything most people could imagine. They say he had a whole team of people helping him, from managers to security staff, and that these folks were responsible for everything from booking hotel rooms to making sure there was plenty of cash on hand. It's as if he was running a small kingdom, and he was the undisputed ruler.
And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid this.
In one of the more shocking claims, prosecutors allege that Diddy was not above using physical force to get what he wanted. The details are gritty, describing incidents where he allegedly lashed out at those who tried to resist him. And according to these documents, it wasn't just one or two isolated incidents. This was something that happened over and over again, spanning years. If what they're saying is true, it paints a picture of a man who was ruthless when it came to keeping his secrets.
Do you believe Diddy is a dangerous person?
Yes.
What's even more chilling is the allegation that Diddy kept recordings of some of these wild events. Some say he used these recordings as a way to keep people in line, almost like a twisted insurance policy. Imagine that, holding onto incriminating footage just in case anyone ever thought about speaking out. It's the kind of thing you'd expect to see in a thriller movie, not in real life. And yet, here we are, with prosecutors claiming that these recordings are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the evidence they have against him.
Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right?
But here's where things get even more complicated. Diddy's legal team isn't backing down, and they're framing this as a case of injustice. His lawyers are saying that he's the target of a vendetta and that the government is trying to bring him down because of his success. They're pointing out that Diddy has built an empire over the last few decades, becoming one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. And they're suggesting that the powers that be don't like seeing a self-made man at the top. In a statement, one of his attorneys even called this a witch hunt, saying that they plan to fight these charges all the way.
The plaintiff. So basically what that means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, right. Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. Mm-hmm. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the plaintiff.
There's also a lot of talk about the conditions at the MDC and whether it's fair for someone like Diddy to be held there. His lawyers have been vocal about how terrible the place is, mentioning the violence, the overcrowding, and the lack of basic facilities. They've brought up examples of other high-profile inmates who have had serious problems there, like Ghislaine Maxwell, who faced numerous threats while in custody. For Diddy, a man who has always lived a life of luxury, this must feel like a nightmare. But for now, the court isn't budging. It seems they're more concerned with keeping him in a place where he can't influence the case against him. And while Diddy's situation is certainly dramatic, it's also raising bigger questions about how celebrities are treated by the justice system. Are they given too much leniency because of their fame? Or do they face harsher treatment because of the public scrutiny? In Diddy's case, it seems like both might be true. On one hand, he's being held in a facility known for its brutal conditions, which is rare for someone of his status. But on the other, he's also being given a lot of attention that most people in his situation wouldn't get. This is someone who's used to having the world at his feet, and now he's in a place where none of that matters. As this case unfolds, the public is getting a glimpse into a side of Hollywood that few ever see. We're talking about the hidden world of celebrity, where influence and power can shield people from consequences, until they can't. With Diddy in custody, more stories are starting to come out, and people are beginning to ask, who else knew what was going on? After all, Diddy wasn't throwing these parties alone, and he wasn't the only one attending them. A-listers from every corner of entertainment have been linked to his events, though so far, no one else has been directly implicated.
That's not the issue. The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
One of the names that keeps coming up is Prince Harry. Now, let's be clear. There's no suggestion that he did anything wrong, but he's one of the many celebrities who have been connected to Diddy's circle, and that alone is enough to make people wonder. With rumors flying around, it's easy to see why folks might start asking questions about who else might have been at these gatherings. Were these stars just there for a good time, or was there more going on behind the scenes?
Well, either way, if you got to run to a private island because your evil doings is doing so much and they storming your house, it's one of these.
Then there's rapper 50 Cent, who has had his own run-ins with Diddy over the years. He's not involved in the case, but he's been vocal about his disdain for Diddy, even hinting at things he supposedly saw at these parties. Though it's impossible to say how much of it is true, his comments have added fuel to the fire, leading some to believe that there's a lot more to the story than what's already been revealed. And let's not forget about the public reaction. Social media has been on fire since these allegations came to light, with people debating Diddy's guilt or innocence. Some are shocked, unable to believe that a man who's done so much for the music industry could be capable of these actions. Others are less surprised, saying that the signs were always there if you knew where to look. There's a sense that people are reevaluating their relationship with celebrity culture, questioning how much they really know about the stars they idolize.
And let me tell you something else. Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
Ellen's old tweets and comments have also become a lightning rod for discussion. Fans are poring over everything she's ever said about Diddy, trying to piece together what she might have known. After all, Hollywood is a place where people are always watching each other, where secrets are traded like currency. It's possible that Ellen, like so many others, knew something but chose to look the other way. Or maybe she had no idea what was really happening and was just another guest at a party. Either way, her connection to Diddy has thrown her back into the spotlight, and people are eager to see what she has to say. As the case against Diddy continues, it's clear that we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. With more accusers coming forward and the public watching closely, there's a sense that this story is far from over. And while Diddy maintains his innocence, the allegations against him are serious enough that his future is very much in doubt. For now, all we can do is wait and see how this all plays out. But one thing's for sure, Hollywood won't be the same after this. The public has gotten a rare glimpse behind the curtain, and they're not likely to forget what they've seen.
As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up to that.
This scandal is shaking up the entertainment world, and it's making people question everything they thought they knew about their favorite stars. Who knows what else might come to light in the weeks and months ahead? With the trial looming, and with Diddy's reputation on the line, it feels like we're in for a long, dramatic ride. And as we continue to uncover the truth, one thing is certain. The story of Diddy and his infamous parties will be talked about for a long time to come. This case is about more than just one man. It's about a culture that has let people like Diddy operate with impunity for far too long. The question now is, who will be next? In the end, we may never know the full truth about what happened at those parties or how much people like Ellen really knew. But what's clear is that the public is hungry for answers, and they won't stop until they get them. As Diddy faces the possibility of losing everything, the rest of Hollywood is watching and waiting, wondering who might be the next to fall. So, what do you think? Did Ellen know more than she's letting on, or is she just another celebrity caught in the crossfire of Hollywood's darkest secrets? And who else could be connected to Diddy's world behind closed doors? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time,